We have lived here just over 3 months, by like a week or two, something like that. So just over 3 months. In that entire time, I've only heard our neighbors even remotely once, and that was when their music came through the wall. For a very short time, and it wasn't very loud until tonight. Tonight, I actually heard my neighbors, probably out on their porch, but it was very low. Unlike my previous neighbor, who would go out on the porch and try to share his entire business with the entire frickin' neighborhood. Peace and quiet is so nice. So hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug is my Shamor coffee mug that my Shamar Moore coffee mug that my daughter found for me. I just love him. He's gorgeous. And in my Shamar Moore coffee mug is a tea I think that's quite appropriate, and that is the Private Selection Sweet Cinnamon Spice. Private Selection, let's show them a proper thing. Private Selection is a Kroger brand, and in this tea there is cinnamon, chamomile, rosehip, rooibos, ginger, natural flavor, it doesn't say of what, lemongrass, peppermint, and orange peel. And I think that is a very intriguing combination. Cinnamon is first, so we should get that real cinnamon burn almost, and then we'll see how it all sweetens out by the end of this video. As you all know, since it is a Bright Ladies, that's not going to be much time. But in my experience, most Kroger teas don't need much time. At any rate, so let's go ahead and give her a sip. It's brand new to me, and then we'll get started. You can smell the cinnamon. That's strong. Ooh, I like that. It has just started steeping, but even though the cinnamon smells really strong, at this point, the cinnamon isn't burning, but it is definitely very prevalent. Alrighty, so the last time we tried to do a Bright Ladies, as far as I was concerned, it was a flop. It didn't work out anything the way I wanted it to. I thought I looked like a clown. I'm kind of borderline there with these cheeks today, but I'm real happy with the rest of it, and I hope you're interested enough to go ahead and keep on watching as we do a honest to goodness, for real Bright Ladies look. Let's get started. All right, so I have pulled you fairly close to go ahead and get this started. I'm going to show you the palettes, but do keep in mind that if you don't have any of these, just look for something with similar colors, or you can do other colors. At any rate, the first one is going to be the Melt Vida. This one is definitely discontinued, but you just need like a really bright, limey couple of greens. So there's a few palettes out there with those. I'm also using my Lethal Cosmetics Custom. I am using it for this yellowy gold in here. And then the other one is definitely available is the Bosque Nuboso de Monteverde. This is the newest Nomad palette. It is gorgeous. And so we will go ahead and get started. And we're going to start with the Monteverde, actually. I actually have, be amazed, an idea of what I want to do. I do. We are going to pull up my brushes over here that I just cleaned. We're not going to talk about that too much. All right, so fluffy brush. We need a fluffy brush. All right, so we're getting in here into the Monteverde, and we are going to start with this color. Flip it so I'm not shining at you. This color Toucan, and that's going to go in under the brow. As everyone who's been here a while knows, we start from the brow, work our way down, lighter to darker. So we're starting with the Toucan, and we're going to start closer to the brow to get that color. Just like that, back and forth. It doesn't take much effort. These are This is a beautiful palette. I've only had questions about one shade, and I will not be using that today. So I've got other plans. Other plans. I will say I'm already starting having some issues with my base on my inner eye a little bit. So I suspect this is going to start falling apart. Now I'm going to bring this down and around a little bit into the corner down here. We might end up doing something different with that later, but we're going to bring that all the way around this time. I don't usually do that. Brighten that all up. Okay, be back. Next, I'm going to take this color Jaguar, and I'm going to start in the crease and work my way up. I'm using the same brush. Ooh, ooh, Mama, she's pretty. And we're just going to work it up. But we don't want to cover up all that yellow, so try to stay closer to the back end of your eye and going down in the crease. You're basically just trying to, it'll probably all disappear. We all know how it works with my eyes because of the hoods and the things that I do. But I'm going to add enough. We're going to go about halfway up the eye here. And I'm blending this out quite a bit. I am not going all the way around the corner like I did with the other color. I am just trying to get some of that Jaguar in there. That's all. Jaguar. I'm going to bring just a little bit more down. My eyes are being a touch fussy today, so yeah, this might end up being difficult. But again, we are not going all the way around. I've just managed to make basically a line around my lid where that color is. And then I'm bringing it up. And I'm leaving a significant part of that yellow to be visible. All right, other side. Okay, so you can see that the orange went up a little bit, but we still have that yellow showing, and we are going to move on to our next color. And for this, I'm going to need one of my little flat brushes and some setting spray. We're going to spritz the sponge. Some of these sponges in this particular pack I bought are just kind of weird. They've had broken tips. My first 2 packs didn't have problems. This one has just been like, hi, I'm going to be a mess. I'm going to have messy stuff in it. All right, so I'm going to grab that really light color in the Lethal Cosmetics. They're a really nice brand. They're just a tad expensive. And they are probably the most I have ever spent on any kind of cut palettes. But the nice thing is they have that build your palette, and they actually have some really nice colors, and the quality is beautiful too. They're not cheap like ColourPop though, I'm telling you. So I'm getting some of that color on here, and we're putting that in the inner corner. Which, yeah, I can already see some of it flaking out of some of the orange and the yellow flaking out of the inner corner a bit. We're going to take that just a little bit over 1/3. I would try to do just 1/3, but with this eye already acting up, I know I'm going to have to do repairs. And when that happens, it tends to go a little further into the lid, that problem. So just getting a little bit on there. I said I already had an idea of what I'm doing. So there. And I'm not doing anything too fancy, too far out of my usual. So it's in that inner corner. Again, just grabbing some of this. And just doing the inner corner to about a little over 1/3. They're such pretty colors. You know me, I can't resist the shiny. So shiny she is. Need a little bit more. I might need to put a little bit more spray on my brush. Probably. Look at you guys. Yeah, I'm going to put a little bit more spray and go in a little further on those because it looks like there's like a hole or something in there. I think the brush just started to dry down. The sponge started to dry down too quickly, that's all. Things happen. We'll fix it. There we go. There's a bit more shine. So all I needed was a bit more shine because we like the shiny around here. All right, so I'm putting that down. I am hanging onto this palette in case this needs to be repaired, which I suspect it will be. Otherwise, we're done with it. Setting that to the side. We are now going to get into the Melt Vida. And I am going to put this Papel Picado, this really light green. We're going to see how that does by itself. If it's not quite what I want, we'll move over to the Serape, which is the shimmer. But I can do mattes, so, and usually these guys' mattes are pretty decent. This beautiful green. And we're going to pat that in the middle along our lid. Oh, she is kind of light. Problems with colors like this is they don't necessarily show up well on me. I am that perfect color of beige. It's there, it's just lighter than I expected it to be. I haven't used it much, obviously. Everything in there is too dark. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I'm going to try to brush some of the Serape over it and see what happens. I'm not going to put anything on my brush. Just see if we can give it a shimmer that gives it a bit more oomph on my eye. Not going too far over. A little bit further. Go a little bit further in. There we go. It doesn't help my eyes are different shaped. All right. So we've got that on. Yeah? It's not too bad. But I'm going to go ahead and with the same brush, I'm going to grab a little bit of the Serape. We're not going to get much of it. And we're going to put that over this and see if we can give it some oomph, a bit of shine. No, we may need to use a wet brush to make this work. Oh, I don't think it did anything. It's a beautiful color. We are already in the weeds, folks. We are already going, oops, that's not working. All right. I think it deepened it a little bit, but I don't think it did anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and put I'm going to relayer the Papel Picado over the top. I saved one side for the Papel and the other one for the Serape. And, oh yeah, it definitely had deepened it some. No shine, but it had deepened it. Now I think you can see it better. That layering actually worked out very well. I think we are leaning towards what I want. We are leaning. It is very hard for me. Some bright colors just don't. They act more like pastels than brights. You can see that hole already forming. Let's hope it doesn't get too messy. All right, so I'm going to hang on to that in case I need it. I may not. Hopefully not. All right, so we're going to get into the Nomad again. And this time, we're going to get some of this Green Mountain, and we're going to put that on the outer corner. And I am going to use a little brush, but I am going to dampen it. So we're going to get this Green Mountain, which I think I have actually used as to line my bottom. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. I'm just dabbing it in. And I'm keeping that edge as straight along my crease there. Just using the edge of the brush. So I chose one of these small, this is an Alamar version of the brush. The other ones that you can get are from, as I blank out on you all and go, who did them? They're my favorite kinds of brushes. Or Luxe. Luxe. I need to get more of these from Luxe. These actually work very, very well for me. All right, I'm going to use my buff brush and just sort of tap. Just to help those edges a little bit. It isn't going to do much, but it should make them a little less sharp. I'm tapping, I'm not brushing, I'm tapping. I want to blur them out just a bit, like that. Like that. I'm happy. Okay, so yeah, I didn't think for this. I know something that I need to do later for another video, and so I need to figure out something that I can do now that isn't going to mess that process up. You know what? I haven't tried this one yet. I am going to go ahead and use the hanging bridges to do in the crease and out. What do you have? Do you have something else I want to use? You have browns and oranges and reds. Okay, we're going to go back to my original idea and hope that this is not a topper, because this one seemed to act like a topper. So we're going to do the hanging bridges, and then we are going to deepen that with a bit of this blue that I love. This blue Morpho has actually become my favorite color in the palette so far. Mind you, I haven't used the purple yet. I haven't used this one yet. I haven't used either of these pinky, orangey pinks yet. But so far, this is the bomb. So we're just going to start with this, and then we're going to throw that into the actual crease. So I'm going to use this kind of fluffier type brush and see what happens. I can get this wet too. But we're going to grab some of this hanging bridges, which I have never used before. Now she's picking up on the end. Pretty. We're going to go along our crease a little bit. I'm going to bring it down in here. It is not a dark color at this point. And we're going to go up here. It is basically just adding a little bit of, wow. I'm not mad at it, but it's not. That is becoming an interesting color. It is blending with the orange in an unexpected way. Like I said, I'm going to bring this in here a little bit. Like that. I'm not mad at how that looks. I am mad that my inner corner is falling apart. But I am not mad at how that looks. That is giving this orange which is a matte, by the way. A strangely almost duochrome kind of color. It's not really, but it's in there. All right, I'm going to finish. I'm going to go ahead and take the other little brush I have down here. Where did it go? Where did you go? You're in here somewhere. You have a small, there you are. So I'm going to take a very small round, and I'm going to try to do the emphasis of the deepening of my crease in my little out corner. Just a little bit of this blue. Again, we're in the crease. And of course, because it's blue and it's mixing with greens and oranges, it is becoming more of a green, which I can live with. And I want to keep this fairly narrow and fairly light. I'm not trying to do anything too deep with it. I did go down a bit in the corner, but again, I'm not adding too much in there. Right? And now, I'm just going to put a little bit out this way, which is what I always do, because it gives my eyes an interesting shape I really like. That's why I do this little outer thing almost every time. And just little touches, little touches. If I see a hole, that's why I'm dipping back in. Honestly, it's blending out beautifully though. I like it. I really like it. All right, so I'm going to finish up the other eye and do all the other things, and then we'll be back. Okay, so here we are with all the things done. Gotta say, I'm real happy with this lipstick combination. I was really surprised at how well. This is much more orangey than I like, but it's in the red tones that I also like, so I'm very, very pleased with it. I don't usually go for orangey lipsticks. However, the real star of the show is the look. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. If my inner corners are falling apart, I did repair them once, but I don't know how well they'll stay. So I'm going to go ahead and lean in and let you see, and hopefully the inner corners aren't complete trash. I am very pleased with this look. And I'm almost sad that I'm going to have to update it for another video later. Seriously. But yeah, I'm real happy with the way this came out. For the under part of my eyes, I went ahead and I used Wildlife Wonderland on the inner corner. I used this color Green Vine Snake across the bottom, and through the back I used this green Spiny Lizard on the back end back here. And I was thinking as I was working with these colors that the Green Vine Snake and the Toucan might actually do that green color that I was looking for, the brighter green color I was looking for in the center of my eye. I want to go ahead and try that with you guys. I have to find a few things. Let me find it. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of what I normally use for my base. I am not going to put any of my other primer over, but I am going to put some of this base on the back of my hand. Okay, I just took a small swipe. Okay. Going to take that down. So we got base on the back of our hand. I'm going to have to clean that up. All right, so we've done that, and then I'm not even going to add the powder I normally do. I'm just going to pat this down. I suspect there's enough powder in here, right? She's still a touch tacky, but it'll work. I'm going to take a flat brush, and the first color I'm going to use a brush because that's how I would normally do it. And I'm going to grab some of this green vine snake here. Put some of that on this flat brush first. Okay, we got the green vine snake, right? Then I'm going to clean this off a little bit. Probably if I were doing my eye, well, yeah, I probably would clean it because the green is darker than that yellow, so we don't want that yellow, the green showing up in the pan of the yellow. And now I'm going to grab some of the toucan. And I'm going to put that over the snake. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So you don't even need the Melt Verde, and honestly, I suspect if I kept adding yellow, that would become lighter and lighter because these colors are so blendable. Look at that. I didn't need my melt palette at all. And you don't need it at all either. If you want to recreate this look, I've now shown you a way to do that bright green, and you can do it to your particular preference of how bright you want it. So that is actually really nice, and I wish I had thought of it when I was doing the look, honestly. And that's pretty much it for the day. I think we did this in like record time, in all honesty, and I'm really kind of pleased and surprised, but I think I did a really good job at just getting through this. I didn't have many interruptions either, so that kind of helped. But at any rate, that is it for the day, and I hope you like what you've seen, and if you do like what you've seen, I hope you will subscribe if you haven't yet. When you hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Currently upload 3 days a week. That would be Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. However, we sometimes do have bonus videos. My son uploads his, he doesn't upload, but he does his opens. There we go. I can talk, really. I was hoping we would get through this without all of that. But he opens his Geek Fuel, and right now we are trying out a comics graphic novel. But he's not too thrilled with it. So we're going to have to see if we can find something else along those lines for him that's somewhere between children, and adult. Because technically somewhere in the teenage years, age in terms of maturity. Despite being 30, I know most of you are going, but isn't that a lot of men anyway? Some of them, yeah. But my son has an excuse, so we're just going to leave it at that. But he does that. We're hoping to do that once a month now. You got to see my husband open up a hot sauce. I don't expect that one to happen too frequently. Usually we do that with his cooking videos. He does plan to be back for that very soon. And also, sometimes I open makeup boxes. And yeah, I'll be opening makeup boxes. I shouldn't be buying anything, but we all know I'm horrible, right? I just see the pretty colors, and I'm like, the pretty colors! I want the pretty colors. Anyway, moving on. And if you want to see any of those, you will need to have that bell clicked so that you can get a reminder. If you're part of my notification squad, please check both your bell and your subscription to make sure that they are both still active. If you choose not to subscribe, well, after the silliness just now, I wouldn't blame you. But I do hope you will come back and, you know, give the old dragon some support. And if you're not going to subscribe, well, I'll be disappointed. But you are welcome here. Always, always welcome here. And when you do finally come back again, let's hope it's not a finally. Food. Watch for the food. The food will be coming soon, I hope. I hope. Honest. But when you do come back again, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. Now, as I noted, for those of you who've been here long enough, you know that this tea has not steeped very long at all. Well, at least 15 minutes at this point, so it's steeped long enough, right? We are going to give this a sip and get on our way, and hopefully we will see you back soon. I love the smell of this cinnamon. Cinnamon gives me an interesting reaction in that if it is a really light cinnamon, I will think of Christmas. This is a much heavier cinnamon scent, and for some reason that does not make me think of Christmas. I'm not sure why that is, but it is a beautiful smell. It's very deep and earthy. It's a really nice smell. So, okay, the cinnamon became much stronger. This is interesting. I always double bag store-bought teas. This is a store-bought tea from a store brand. That cinnamon is very, very strong in this mug. I do catch some of these other flavors on the back end of that. Probably the rooibos, a little bit of the ginger. A touch of the lemon. I don't think I'm getting the mint quite so much. Or the other, I think the chamomile and the rosehip, even though they're higher up on the ingredient list, I think they're just lighter flavors and that they're being drowned out by the actual spices, which, I mean, they're light flavors, so that's going to happen. Overall, this is a really nice tea. We just found it over at our local Kroger, and I decided to pick it up because I didn't think I had tried it. And hopefully you can find one at your Kroger, too. I might buy that again. That's actually very nice. And anybody who's watched these long enough knows that I've taken like 5 or 6 sips, and that means something. At any rate, that's it. Hope you have a good one.